All right. Today I want to talk about current target and target. So essentially, what is that? So every time you actually click on an HTML element, an event is triggered. Along with the event, you get some metadata. Along with that metadata, you've got two properties that you get, target and current target. So recently I was using Remix and I ran into an issue that was relevant to that. So I thought making a video would be an awesome way of helping other folks as well. So let's go ahead and demonstrate what the differences are. This is a purely nothing kind of a page that's being loaded up in the browser. The first thing I'm going to do is start adding some HTML. So HTML, let's pick a boilerplate. Let me hide this right here. Let's do one thing here. Let's create the script tag right here first. So I've got this, I've got console.log, hello world, just to make sure everything's working fine. Let's go to the console here, refresh. All right, things are working fine. Let's create a form. This is what I actually ran into. I created a form. Let's just do this, remove this guy right here. So it's a form, it has a name. And the action, let's just do nothing in the action. Let's remove this, don't really need this. You can leave the post there as well. But this is the other piece right here. So that's your input. And you've got your input right here. All right, so I'm not sure what this is complaining about. It's some accessibility right here. We can, for now, ignore that. So you've got the type, which is the submit. So typically the way how this will work, once you actually submit it, the form will get submitted over. When you actually click on this button, so let's actually take a look at this. This creates a button. If I submit it, it's going to try to submit the form. So that's fine. What I want to show is that event triggering and what that target versus the current target looks like. So let's add an event to this button first, and let's see how that event looks like. So document get element by, let's see, where's the ID? Let's have this fill up. Let's give it an ID here as well. So let's say ID equals to submit button. Let's go in here. Let's do submit button. Looks good. You've got the event. Nice. I like it. All right. So when I do, let's move this here. Let's move it here. So let's say from submit button. And this get element. Actually, I made a mistake here. This should be the click. That's the event. And this is where the submit button should be, right? So I'm getting this button right here. And that's how it's working. Let's actually close this out here as well. So let's refresh. Now, when I go into my sources right here, and if I click on, let's put a debugger right here. So I have a debugger on the event listener. So when I actually submit this, we'll see how the event looks like. So let's add a watch for the event. Bring this up. So this is the event that I was talking about. So you'll see there's a current target. So the browser is highlighting it as well. So that's pretty nice. Now, if I go into the target, that's also this event. So it doesn't give you a lot of, what's the difference between the target and current target. So let's try to do something else, right? So as we know in HTML, when you actually click on the input button, there's events that's been like bubbled up, right? So the form itself would get a button, a click event here as well. So let's actually copy this piece of code right here. Let's create an event listener for the form itself. So let's see what the ID is. Let's put an ID there. So ID equals to, oops, submit form. All right, that's good. Get element. So let's do submit form. So now it's on the form. It's going to be the click. Everything remains the same. Event dot prevent default. And let's do this. So let's say from form. Oh, well, this is a little bit confusing. From form. All right. So let's continue this. Let's refresh. All right, let's put a breakpoint in this one. We know how that looks like, so we can kind of ignore that. All right, so let's do submit. So now we're on the element one. So let me just showcase this right here. So that's your submit form. So now you'll notice that the current target is the submit form. Nice. Whereas the the target is still the submit button. So let's examine this for a moment here, right? So the current target is going to be always be the element on which this event listener has been caught, right? So that's your current target. Um, Whereas the target is your actual target on the element that was actually clicked, right? So imagine that this click event is kind of like bubbling up, that's fine. But the actual target on that user was the target was the actual submit button, right? The current target, it just bubbled up, right? So based on where it is currently, the event, that's your current target there, right? So that's the difference. So this is where I got into, I was actually reading the wrong target in my code to get the form values. And that's where I ran into an issue, which I will cover in the later video. But I hope this was useful to know the difference so that you know which one to pick, depending on where you are listening to, right? So if you are after the form, then, okay, put an event on the form and capture that because that would be the element that you're getting here, right? So if you want to get all um, the values of the form, this is what you're after, right? Not this, because this won't have any values. It's just the button, right? So if you're putting a click button right here or an event, make sure you go to the current target because that's the one that you're going after. Again, I hope this was useful, and in the later video, I'll cover more topics like this. Thank you.